XM-1, ancestor of Abrams, is your real money paid ticket to an endgame. But how far can you get in War Thunder by spending money? XM-1, a premium vehicle in American tank tree. You can start spreading American freedom with all modifications unlocked. Rank 5 allows you to research any tier vehicle without penalties. But how good is it to jump to an endgame with this tank? First, let's take a look at characteristics. It has 5 different shells, but let's be realistic. Chemical energy shells in most situations are useless against composite armor. In best case scenario, you will use smoke shells in addition to your main projectile, APFSDS. Unfortunately, that's the lowest penetrating top shell of all main battle tanks at battle rating 9.0. Reload speed of 6.7 seconds with aced crew will let you reload faster than most of your opponents. Your hull has spaced armor filled with 30 centimeters of air, which is not that material that stops kinetic projectiles effectively. And turret has some composite armor from both sides. It offers some protection, mostly from heat shells, but overall it's one of the least defended vehicles of all MBTs of the same battle rating. Survivability after getting hit is average. The only thing worth mentioning is a blowout panel in turret's ammunition stowage. Once your ammo rack detonates, you will not die instantly. Instead, all your ammunition here is lost. You will still have a shell loaded in your barrel, but to continue the battle you will have to visit capture point to rearm. Minus 10 degrees gun depression lets you play hull down, but aiming higher with only 15 degrees of elevation sometimes can be problematic. Turret rotation speed for stock vehicle is almost 24 degrees per second and makes it one of the most flexible vehicles of similar battle rating MBTs. Speed is where this vehicle shines. In addition to being able to turn quickly, you can count on 50 km per hour forward and 42 backwards. Often you will be the first to start waiting for allies near the capture point. Just like all MBTs, game classifies it as medium tank, which automatically grants you artillery support. There are also stabilizer and laser rangefinder for comfortable gameplay, which are quite usual for high battle rating tanks. Two 7.62 and 150 cal machine guns can help you to deal with planes that get too close. In arcade, this tank felt surprisingly good thanks to its mobility. I expected that as usual, anything that has no armor doesn't belong to arcade, but actually it was quite nice as long as you play correctly. By saying correctly, I mean staying under cover until you can see target. Use advantage of 3D camera to look over corners and use minimap to find out where the enemies are. Then quickly peek out, shoot and hide. Stabilizer will let you do it without stopping. Don't trade shots if you see that enemy is aiming at your position. Expect them to penetrate you in frontal projection easily. And you might have some difficulties with better protected tank turrets. Every second you stand in the open can end up getting hit, and with armor like yours, something will definitely be damaged. To be effective in arcade, you will need crew trained for keen vision and radio communication for the minimap. So focus on these if you have untrained crew. Also, having one tank that dies easily in arcade is bad, because as a new player you have no effective vehicles at this battle rating to respawn. Some low tier SPAAs standing at respawn and defending the sky will be more useful for the team than just quit. For veterans, I'm not sure if it's worth it, since you have Abrams, which is very mobile, plus has armor you can count on. Maybe a good idea to buy a talisman instead. In realistic, I was terrible. Maybe that's because my hands are growing from a wrong place, but I never had so much trouble with other tanks. If enemy spotted you first, you will be killed. That's normal. But it doesn't work another way around. Because if you shoot first, it doesn't always mean penetration. Let's remember that your top shell penetrates less than any other MBT's top shell at your battle rating. And once you shoot, enemy will know where you are. Then the best would be disengaging, since you will most likely lose when trading shots. Thanks to your mobility, it's easy to retreat, even backwards. When there are no enemies around, use your high maximum speed to quickly get to the most unexpected places to be able to attack from flank. No armor and bad penetration means that mobility is your only advantage, but to use it you will need good map knowledge. So new players expect a lot of suffering and steep learning curve. Not a tank to easily grind 6-tier vehicles. Overall, XM-1 is like playing Leopard 2K, just with better mobility and worse penetration. Since there are not a lot of people playing tanks of battle rating 8+, you will most likely be matched with your level or stronger tanks. XM-1 might be a good option if you are only interested in modern tanks, but don't want to grind through the tech tree with tanks you don't like. Very skill dependent tank. It's hard to exploit your only advantage, mobility, in a fight. Despite giving an opportunity for newcomers to experience endgame, vehicle is designed for veterans. You know what to do at the end of a video, right? All these usual subscribe, like buttons, but nothing makes YouTuber more excited than reading your comments.